Hey everybody, this is actually take three because I wasn't happy with my original versions. There's an election going on in LA. If you're going to ask me if you want the context of that, by the way, you can look at my last video on Cenk Uygur endorsing Rick Caruso. My prediction is that Karen Bass is going to win, but it's going to take all night and it's going to go late. That's what's going on in current affairs. Sometimes what I've noticed is a few of my friends watch my videos, and like I have a friend of mine who's a really good friend, Carshena. She's moving back to Pennsylvania, and I thought I would make a little shout out to her. Hi, Carshena. And I thought I would talk about something because we use these terms a lot, and first of all, I don't know who's really watching these videos, and I'd like to know ideologically. If you are watching, please subscribe, please comment, tell me where you are on the ideological spectrum. And I wanted to talk a little bit about this because I see some disturbing trends with people saying that the right-left thing is just a scam, and we're past that, and it's a right-left divide that helps the ruling class. We shouldn't be talking about that. And I think that mode of thought is especially perilous for the left, and it's bad analytically because analytically, by understanding the right and the left, it will help you understand what's going on with issues. And so I don't like that. It's like I was told, "Oh, you're so rigid and you don't want to compromise on anything, like on healthcare, because you won't accept Obamacare. You won't accept Obamacare." And that's a compromise. Here's the thing that people don't understand, okay, on healthcare. Was Obamacare a compromise? The answer is yes. But Obamacare was a compromise of a compromise of a compromise. Okay? So let's be clear. The extreme right-wing position, I think if you know anything about politics, you know what that right-wing position is on healthcare. Everything should be privatized. Everything should be according to the market. So what that means is even medical licenses would be for sale. Corporations would give them out, and you would either get one by being the highest bidder, or you'd get one because a corporation would decide to make you a doctor, and it would be according to what corporations needed, the supply and demand among companies. That would be a totally privatized healthcare system, and every medical procedure would exist if there was a demand for it, and everyone could get healthcare if they had money, or if they put in money, or if they saved money, or if they basically paid a type of rent, which is what premiums are. And some procedures would go through the roof, and some procedures would not be you wouldn't be able to get certain procedures because they wouldn't exist, because there wouldn't be enough demand for them, etc. I mean, but that would be a total marketized approach, right? That would be the extreme right. Now, why am I saying this? Because what, therefore, is the supposedly the extreme left? Without getting into the divide between Marxism and anarchism, the extreme left is supposed to be socialized medicine. But what does that mean? That means the government would own the hospitals, hire and fire the doctors and the nurses, and would control literally everything on behalf of the people. Right? That's socialized medicine. Is that what they have in Canada? And the answer is no. They have single payer in Canada, which, by the way, that's what Medicare for All is. It is a form of single payer. Under that system, the hospitals are independent. The doctors are independent. They are in private practice. Almost everything is private, except that the insurance company in most transactions, the insurer is the government. That is the single payer. That's what that means. Viewed that way, that's just a little bit more to the right of socialized medicine. So in reality, single payer, which I will remind you, is a form of, Medicare for all is a form of single payer. In reality, that itself is a compromise. If you are a socialist, single payer is a compromise, okay? Then they said, well, we're not getting single payer. We're going to get, or Medicare for all. We're going to get the public option. Remember that? The public option. All right, so I want to talk about this. So the public option is another compromise. Again, if you're a socialist, this is a compromise of a compromise. What is it? It's just like the post office. This is what the public option is. When you use the post office, you pay a fee to use it because you buy stamps. You send mail. Anyone who uses the post office, like the people who send you junk mail, pay a fee, right? But the United States Postal Service does not work for a profit. That's how the public option would work. It would be the United States Health Insurance Company, and you would pay premiums to them. Other insurers would still exist, but you would pay premiums to them to give you your health insurance. The difference, of course, is if you pay your premiums to the government, they're not trying to make a profit. The United States Postal Service doesn't run on taxpayer money, but it also is nonprofit, okay? Which is why Republicans hate it. You would pay your premiums under the public option to a government insurer, and they would give you your health care. That is actually what the public option is. So that's a compromise of a compromise. Okay? Then they said, we're not doing the public option. We're doing Obamacare. So now we've got yet another compromise. Now, I want to be clear about this. Joe Biden said that he was going to give us the public option. Anytime a politician uses that phrase, they are lying. They are lying. The public option will never exist. Because if you think about it, all of the same enemies as Medicare for all will line up against the public option. So if you can't get Medicare for all, you cannot get the public option. It is simply a lie that the public option is something which they can give you more easily. Now, they use the phrase because it's a signal to the donors that this particular politician isn't serious about being pro-healthcare, and so you should donate to this politician. That's why these politicians use that phrase. Because just like sometimes Republicans use racist dog whistle, when a Democrat comes out and says, I don't favor Medicare for all, I favor the public option, it is a way for them to get around the issue, get around the problem. You will never get that. And every time a politician says public option, they never follow through. This president, Joe Biden, campaigned on that, and he hasn't made one attempt to introduce it or to get it through. I don't even know if he's made a speech about it. I don't think he's made a speech about it. He's not interested in it. Let me be clear. So every single time a politician uses the phrase a public option as a promise, not as a subject of criticism, but if he says or if she says I support the public option, it is a lie. They are lying to you. It doesn't exist. It's not a policy proposal that should be taken seriously. And anyway, that's what I wanted to talk about. I want to talk about healthcare. And if Carshena is watching, or anyone else is watching who is a friend of mine, that's how I feel about it. And I think that's the most important delineation we should say about healthcare, because people sort of get this idea that, okay, Medicare for all is socialized medicine, or the left is being unreasonable if we don't accept the public option, or we should discuss the public option, or we should be happy with our political class. These are things that are important, because viewed that way, you can see why I'm not happy. I mean, they basically gave us a lie. They defeated the activist class in favor of what the donors want. And at the same time, they're calling people like me unreasonable, even though I'm willing to compromise. I mean, I'm willing to accept the public option as a compromise, but the reality is that pharmaceutical industry in particular, but also the hospital chains, they do not like even the public option, because once people see that your premiums are simply lower with a public option, they're going to realize this is, they're being scammed. Of course, the powers that I don't think the public option is that great for obvious reasons, but the not so obvious reason is, as soon as you had one that worked, the Republicans would work night and day to destroy it, right? So a lot of these things require a sort of revolution or a sort of reworking of the American mentality. But that's a bigger subject than one video. But I thought I would explain that and why I feel the way I do. I mean, I just think this is rational. Now, if you're a Republican and you oppose all of this stuff, I mean, I can't really say much to you, because I think it's completely ideological. By now, it's standard operating procedure in the post-developed world to have some sort of strong government role, not just in regulation, but in financing of healthcare. And if you're not willing to see that, there's not much I can say to you, because I just think you're an ideologue and you're not willing to. You're just acting out of fear and irrationality. Anyway, I'd like to hear from you. I'd like to hear if you're from LA, if you have some predictions about the race. We will see. I might make another video tomorrow on this, the last minute predictions before the LA mayoral. If you have any comments at all about the mayor's race in Los Angeles, or about healthcare, or our political spectrum here in the United States, of which I'm going to keep talking about, comment and share the video, subscribe, like. That would be, right now at this stage, much obliged if you could like the video, and I will talk to you guys later in the future.